Alright, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to discuss Digimon video games, but not Digimon video games we've already got. I want to talk about Digimon video games that I'd like to see. So here's my top 5 Digimon video games we need to see. So the first game coming from me, and it's probably not going to be a big surprise to you, but for me is Digimon World VR. Obviously I love the Digimon World games, they're some of my favourite video games because of the worlds, how interesting they are, but on top of it I also like VR games, and I feel like a VR Digimon World game just kind of suits, especially when you think about the digital world is basically just this other world existing within technology, or like on a network or whatever. It's like, it just makes too much sense that you could put on a VR headset and be able to go away to another world completely. And honestly, I really want to see that happen. Like, can you imagine just traversing around the digital world, going through all the different biomes, seeing all these different Digimon creatures just run around, even going as far as like listening to the ambience that they normally use in those soundtracks, where you can hear nature, you can hear like the birds, you can hear lakes, you hear all this stuff going on in the background. It just really like helps you to just kind of like feel like you're a part of that world. I feel like, again, that just backs up why Digimon World just needs to be on VR. But outside of like just aesthetics and how like it would be fun to traverse that, imagine being able to physically interact with your Digimon, like maybe giving them a pat on the head for a good job to praise them or whatever, and maybe even just like passing them some food, like physically passing them some fucking meat or something to eat. I don't know, there's some really cool ideas there that I feel like they could definitely do for a VR game. Obviously it would restrict them to doing stuff for like maybe just PC or just PlayStation, which I don't feel like Bandai really wants to do anymore. So that's just one aspect I feel like is just gonna like damage that game with the possibilities of actually getting it. But at the same time, I think it's just a really cool idea. I would love to see it come to fruition. So Digimon Rumble Arena has somewhat died off. We haven't had a game since like the PS3 days with All-Star Rumble, and I would like to see that come back, but I don't think I'd like to see it come back as a Smash Bros style game. I honestly want to see it come back something like Dragon Ball FighterZ. Dragon Ball FighterZ is probably one of my favorite fighting games I've ever played. How much it lends itself to actually feeling like it's a part of the Dragon Ball world or Dragon Ball anime. It's like there's a lot that FighterZ does to make it feel like it is Dragon Ball. I feel like we could actually do that with Digimon. Like maybe take that exact idea and bring it over for Digimon, maybe replace all the characters, all the backgrounds, all the arenas, whatever, with Digimon. Have different arenas from different episodes or different video games, and have them as like little nods just to different, you know, media from Digimon, different things that they've done. Have Digimon then being able to not like the DLC. I don't like the DLC system too much that we have in Fighters, that's one thing. I always preferred the transformation system that we had in Budokai, and I feel like we could bring that over here for Digimon FighterZ, where we can actually have our Digimon start off as a rookie, and as we, you know, generate more ki, or maybe in this time we could call it Digisoul or something, and use that Digisoul to maybe transform or Digivolve our Digimon to a higher stage, being able to kind of like almost, again going back to like Budokai, being able to equip different Digivolutions or whatever that would make sense from a specific line or whatever to that Digimon, as that would grant it different abilities, different kind of like stats for power, for defense or whatever. There's so many cool ideas you can go with for this. I just feel like it just, again, just makes a lot of sense for Digimon. But besides that, is like you could also go as far as having the music from the anime. Same thing as, again, as FighterZ done, was have the music from the anime within the game as part of the soundtrack. And again, one thing I loved about Dragon Ball FighterZ is just basically the aesthetics of the game. The game looked like it was from an anime. You could do that with Digimon, just have all of the characters look like you're playing an episode from an anime. It's like that would be the best thing to do with the fighting Digimon games, I feel, at this point. I know a lot of people probably love the Smash stuff, but I feel like just for a change of direction, I feel like a fighter style Digimon game would just be sick. Now this one isn't so much a new game, but I want to kind of like just fix how Digimon Story games actually play. There's a lot of things, while I like them games and while I think they're decent, they're a little bit bland in terms of like JRPGs and what you can do. I feel like there's a lot that they could do to actually really flesh out those games and make them stand out as Digimon games, rather than just a generic RPG that has Digimon. The first thing I do is definitely just add like a full overworld map or some sort of an like open world area for the game that we can actually traverse between areas or segments of the game, like we could in Digimon World 3, as I feel like that game has taken a lot from Digimon World 3. It has really abandoned the overworld map that we could actually traverse around, and it's like, I don't know, I think with a JRPG, that's what we really want. Like, I love Final Fantasy X, but one thing that killed me about Final Fantasy X was that I couldn't just explore like I could in other previous games from the series. So another thing I'd love to fix from Digimon Story is actually the battles. I like the battles, but at the same time they're very kind of basic. Like I said, it's very generic. Everything about Digimon Story to me just seems so generic. That's not to say I don't like the games. I do like them. That's another topic though. But I do feel like they do need to fix these things up and just add a little bit more spice to them. One thing I think could fix it is by adding a real cross system. Like, if you look at what we have for Digimon Story, we have like a Digi-Cross or a Digifusion that you could do, and it's essentially, it doesn't do much. It just gives you a buff for that turn, just lets you do a little bit of extra damage or whatever. It doesn't do a whole lot. But again, I feel like we could actually have, if I don't know if anyone's ever played Super Cross Wars, but if you had a team of specific Digimon, you could have them all cross into one bigger, larger Digimon. I feel like that would just make a whole lot more sense. It'd be almost like the EXE Digivolution that we've seen in Next Order, where your two Digimon, if they're compatible, they will literally just Digivolve to a super ultimate level. I don't know, I feel like something like that really nice kind of needs to happen for Story, just to help it stand out as a Digimon game, or as, you know, just something that's not too generic. So yeah, Digimon Story, in my opinion, it kind of borrows a lot from Persona, from its dungeons, even then, I don't know, maybe just down to how the characters are designed, but again, that comes from the artists that worked on SMT or whatever, Devil Survivor, who also worked on designing these characters. But yeah, I don't know, I feel like we could dive a little bit deeper into the Persona territory. I feel like we can actually have a relationship system with each of the characters that we meet up with. Obviously, we often have battles where we kind of team up with different characters, but I feel like if we have the cross system in the game, and we also have like the characters, why not have our characters be able to like build a relationship, and depending on the relationship and like how kind of like deep it is or whatever, we could actually go and cross with that Digimon, cross with their Digimon using our team, and just make something even bigger and better for those fights. I don't know, I feel like these are just some ideas that I have that I feel like Digimon Story could really benefit from. Yeah, I don't know. If you have any ideas of what could fix Digimon Story, maybe you don't even think it needs to be fixed, just leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. Okay, so some of the ones I mentioned before are pretty obvious, but for these next two, I'm gonna go off into some different directions, maybe some stuff you probably wouldn't think of for a Digimon game. So this one is Digimon Tetris. I was playing Tetris one day and this idea just came to mind. The pieces just reminded me of like Lego bricks. I felt like you could easily do something with Toy Agumon for this. Toy Agumon could actually get a full line for itself off of this game, but to add a Digimon gimmick, you know, you could actually fill a special meter that would help your Digimon, your Toy Agumon, that would be your main character for this game, to kind of help them digivolve, but also give them abilities that would inconvenience your opponents, as in like a head-to-head thing is what I'm sort of going for here. Yeah, I just felt like it was just something dumb that just came to mind one day when I was just playing Tetris. But yeah, I think it would lend itself really well to that idea, and I don't know, I feel like a lot of games had done the puzzle system before, so I feel like it wouldn't be out of place for Digimon to just jump in and try it again. Though puzzle games right now, I don't know if they're dead or not, but I don't know, I enjoy them. I think they're kind of fun, like Tetris. There was Pokemon puzzle as well. There was quite a few of them. I think, yeah, they need to make a comeback. I enjoyed stuff like that. So another series of video games I really enjoy is actually the Souls games. I love Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, all those things. So I feel like Digimon could definitely do something like that. We already had Digimon World 4, which was essentially a roguelite game, but I feel like they could dive a little bit more deeper into the Demon Souls style of game, especially as I think Bandai Namco actually worked on them as well. So kind of like they already have, you know, studios that have worked on these styles of games, and probably could incorporate Digimon into them a little bit more fluid than probably some of the ideas I'm gonna come up with here. But yeah, here's some of the ideas that I would have for that style of game. First off, having the class you pick at the very start determine what rookie level Digimon you're going to start the game with. I feel like this could be very interesting, just because obviously different Digimon, different, you know, data vaccine virus, all the different elements, you know, there's so much different variances there. It can make for a really fun kind of like I don't know, fun way to play the game, but also go back for replayability, because you're gonna have different rookies that you can try and build, you know, different builds from, same way you would with different Souls games. And as for beating other Digimon within the world, instead of getting blood echoes or souls, just pick up Digisouls or data or something like that, that you can actually go and add onto your stats using those as a currency. Maybe even use them to go to the store and buy new equipment or new items or something. I know there's a lot that they could do here. I feel like, again, these ideas just kind of lend themselves so much to Digimon. I feel like they're not really pretty much tied down to this one specific thing, but Digimon kind of just could actually be used across the board in all these ideas. But going back to the Souls thing and going back to just the equipment, don't have the equipment be like what we done in Digimon World 4, where we got different items or whatever, or like different weapons. I feel like what we could do here is actually be able to buy different Digivolutions and have these Digivolutions act as the armor for your Digimon. So obviously equipping them would digivolve your Digimon. So let's say we got Agumon, but we gave him like Tyrannomon armor, it would digivolve him in Tyrannomon and kind of like increase his firepower, just kind of like weaken him to water a little bit more, raise some resistances here and there, increase his defense power and his attack power and stuff. You could do so much with these, and I feel like because Digimon games are generally so diverse, I feel like it just makes sense for Bandai maybe to try and dip into some of these other ideas and throw them out as like side projects or whatever between main title games. But let me know some of your ideas in the comments below. I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, subscribe, share the video, all this good stuff, and I'll see you again. Bye bye.